Oh, continuing to follow breaking news right now. This on California Senator Dianne Feinstein. TMZ reporting this. She's been hospitalized after tripping and falling at her home in San Francisco. It's unclear how serious the injuries are, but the 90-year-old senator has been under the microscope recently with a lot of concerns about her health. And remembering she got a bit confused during a recent Senate session, having to be told by an aide to, quote, just say aye. Again, while voting, she appeared to just start reading from scripts. Again, at 90 years old, TMZ reporting Senator Feinstein has fallen. She is now hospitalized. Injuries unknown.
She was also not in the Senate for about 3 months earlier this year as she was dealing with the case of shingles. And when asked about her absence, she reportedly had spoken to the press saying she never left D.C. Her current term runs through the end of 2025. An election for her seat would not take place until November of the following year. Again, we've learned, according to TMZ, Senator Dianne Feinstein has been hospitalized after a recent fall.
All right. Meanwhile, we are following Mississippi and what's happening there. Incumbent Republican Governor Tate Reeves, we're learning, will face off in the general election there against Democrat Brandon Presley, who's a cousin to Elvis Presley. Presley running unopposed. But the incumbent Reeves was facing a primary challenge in the heavily conservative state.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, chair of the Democratic Governors Association, even said Mississippi could be a sleeper state where Democrats might win. Reeves again would be seeking his second term on November 7th.
Matt Schlapp is here, CPAC chairman, to weigh in. Also, Democratic strategist Bill Caruso. Thank you both, gentlemen, for being on. Matt, I'm just jumping to you on this here. Aside from the notoriety that someone linked, a family member of Elvis Presley would be running for governor against Tate Reeves, is Mississippi necessarily locked up Republican, or is there something to worry about within Brandon Presley?
Well, let me tell you, I both love Elvis Presley and Tate Reeves. Tate Reeves has been a great governor of Mississippi. He's led on a lot of things that matter to voters, a lot of things that are important to conservatives, and you're right, Mississippi is an increasingly conservative state. I think the answer for Republicans running for these key governors' races, both this strange one that's in an off year and going into next year, is they're really the antidote for the Biden policies emanating out of Washington, D.C., which are creating so much turmoil culturally for families, gender, all these questions, and also economically. So I'd love to be a Republican governor running for re-election against the Biden economy.
You know, Bill Caruso, Mississippi, a possible blue state. Is this something even on your radar? Is it something that could be realistic?
It's good to see, and this is my governor, the governor of New Jersey, who's serving on a national perch, playing offense at the DGA. And listen, you know, anything's possible. There's a lot of weird politics going on. Both parties have wrestled with their own dynamics internally. You know, the Democrats have had their own challenges with progressive left challenges, and the Republicans are still trying to figure out, you know, with this Trump phenomenon and conservatism and where folks lie. So we seem like we're lined up right now, right? Our guys run unopposed. He's got some celebrity status. These are good things in a general election, but no one knows right now. And I do agree with Matt. It is going to come down to some extent with what's going on in national politics, but all politics are local. And a lot of this is going to come down to what's going on in Mississippi. And let's face it, it's still a red state. It's a conservative state, and Democrats are going to have to put up there if they're going to win and be successful in November.
Matt, within this election, or at least this ongoing campaign, do you believe that Democrats funded a Republican challenger for the Mississippi governor to try to get him out of office?
Run that by me one more time. I'm not catching your drift here.
Do you think Democrats funded the Republican challenger to Governor Tate Reeves? Is there any truth to that?
You know, I don't know. But the great thing about politics is you kind of find out everything eventually. And, you know, a lot of times people view primaries as bad for incumbents. And I have a contrary view. Although you don't like wasting money in primaries, it's a good thing. Look at Donald Trump. You know, everyone was so upset that all these Republicans were going to run against Trump, who's essentially an incumbent. And my take was, hey, I know it'll be frustrating because you got to spend money, but it could make Trump stronger. And I think for Tate Reeves, whenever you emerge from a primary, and if you can unify your coalition, you come out stronger. And that's how Tate Reeves should feel.
Well, it definitely hasn't hurt Donald Trump in the polls to have a number of challengers try to take him on. And Bill, we might be seeing those folks on the debate stage, essentially. At least now we're hearing reports that about 8 candidates have qualified, of course, including the frontrunner Donald Trump. Will he or won't he appear on the stage? Bill, will you be tuning in to see if he does? Is there an interest even to see if Trump would make an appearance?
I am. Listen, I'm a political junkie. I like watching this stuff. I know a lot of people don't, but I'm interested in it. It's our country, for goodness sake. I hope he shows up. I think he has a lot to add there, but it's his call. I heard him talking at one of his town hall meetings and asking the crowd should he show or not. We'll see. We'll see if Donald Trump ends up on the debate stage.
And Matt, obviously the person running right behind Trump, and when we say right behind, by 30, 40, sometimes 50 points, depending on which poll, is Governor Ron DeSantis. He had a recent shakeup there, obviously firing his campaign manager and moving on to another here. So essentially shaking up the staff, right? He fired about a third of them due to budget reasonings not too long ago. And now this latest shakeup. And there's a statement. We don't have to read it all. Bottom line, you get the drift here. The gist of this. Where is the DeSantis camp going? What do you believe donors are seeing right now? And what really needs to happen when you consider just how much, again, news or waves that the former president the front runner continues to make? It causes DeSantis not necessarily to get his message as loud as he may like to. Is this switching of the campaign manager going to help?
So this debate question plays into your question about what's going on with the DeSantis campaign. My view is Donald Trump should skip this debate. He'll look like a lackey of the RNC and of Fox News if he just kind of dances to their tune. I think he ought to skip it. He's up by so many points, 50s in the 50s and the 60s against all these other guys who are mostly in single digits. And this question of DeSantis, he came into the race pretty strong. Most people's number 2 at our CPAC events. I informally polled people. It was about 50% of our supporters were saying they were very open to DeSantis. Now you look at polls, for instance, this poll that came out in New Hampshire, and he's essentially tied with Christie in the single digits. He's just had a nosedive, and it's not his staff's fault. As you said, he's gotten rid of 40% of his staff. This, constant drama of a new campaign manager, that's not going to accomplish. The problem Ron DeSantis has is that it's about him as a candidate and about his message. And he's very caustic towards Trump. He's now blaming Trump on a fairly regular basis. And that's just not where primary voters are. Some primary voters might think we ought to get a new version of Trump, but they're all for these Trump policies. And to be hostile towards Trump is a great way to get into the single digits. So welcome to the basement, Governor DeSantis.
All right, Matt Schlapp, Bill Caruso, thank you so much for weighing in as our political panel. We do appreciate that.